If your fashion wish list lives rent-free in your brain, you need to be on Poshmark. With Poshmark, you're shopping millions of listings from thousands of closets, each curated by someone with their own style. Vintage finds, designer pieces, and everyday staples all in one place. Search for your favorites or let the discovery come to you. Poshmark makes it easy to find what you actually want to wear at prices that feel like a quiet win. Download the Poshmark app today and use code PODCAST10 when you sign up to get $10 off your first purchase.
If you are taking or thinking about taking a GLP-1 medication, you've probably heard some impressive stories. People talk about the number on the scale finally moving. Their blood sugar improves, their appetite feels quieter, the constant mental chatter about food may settle down for the first time in years. Then another headline comes along. These drugs make you lose muscle. And suddenly, what sounded hopeful begins to sound like a bargain with a very unpleasant fine print section. So today, let's slow that conversation down. GLP-1 medications can be powerful medical tools. And the goal for those of us over 40 is not simply weight loss. The goal is to remain strong enough to carry groceries, climb stairs, get up off the floor, and keep doing the things that make your life your life. I'm Jay, and this is Somnilopod. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I am honored that you're spending a little bit of time with me today. I also want to point out and add a disclaimer to this discussion. Actually, two disclaimers. First is that I've tried GLP-1 medications and I had great success with it. It was shortly after they came out, and I lost about 40 pounds. It was something that my doctor had recommended, and it worked fairly well for me. Also, I need to point out that this is a general education discussion, not individual medical advice. These medications are prescription treatments. Discussions about starting, stopping, dosing, or managing side effects, those belong with your clinician who knows your history. If you have kidney disease, heart failure, diabetes, significant digestive symptoms, or another condition affecting nutrition or exercise, your plan needs to be individualized. So whenever you want to start on these things, always talk to your doctor and get the advice that's best for you. Now, GLP-1 is short for glucagon-like peptide number 1, a hormone involved in blood sugar regulation, digestion, and appetite. Medications such as semaglutide imitate that signaling. Tirzepatide works through GLP-1 plus a second pathway called GIP. Depending on the specific medication and indication, these drugs may be prescribed for type 2 diabetes, chronic weight management, cardiovascular risk reduction, and obstructive sleep apnea associated with obesity. Among other side effects, they can reduce hunger, increase fullness, and slow the movement of food out of the stomach. For many people, that makes it possible to eat substantially less without wrestling with the hunger every waking minute. That reduced intake is part of how weight loss comes off, but your body doesn't open a filing cabinet marked unwanted fat and just politely remove that only that folder. During almost any meaningful weight loss, whether it comes through medication, surgery, calorie-restricted diet, your body usually loses a combination of fat and fat-free tissue. And that is where the concern begins. You may have seen claims that a frightening percentage of GLP-1 weight loss comes from muscle. There is a real issue underneath those headlines, but the language is often a little too loose. Many studies measure something called lean mass or lean soft tissue. That category includes skeletal muscle, but it can also include water, organs, connective tissue, and other non-fat tissues. When body size and food intake change, the stored carbohydrate and the water held with it can change also. A scan showing less lean mass, therefore, does not tell us that every missing pound is working muscle. Research results also vary widely. Different medications, study populations, measurement techniques, health conditions, and amounts of weight loss produce different findings. Some studies report a sizable lean mass share of total weight loss. Others report considerably less. Newer reviews also caution that a reduction in measured lean tissue does not automatically predict an equal reduction in strength or physical function. That nuance really matters. It keeps us from turning a legitimate concern into a horror story. But nuance is not permission to ignore muscle. Adults who begin with low muscle mass, limited mobility, poor nutrition, or frailty have less reserve to spare. Rapid weight loss, very low food intake, persistent nausea, and inactivity may make the problem worse. After 40, this deserves a specific plan. Muscle is not decorative padding for the body. It helps you stand, balance, move, remain independent. It gives your body somewhere useful to handle glucose. It supports bone through the force that muscles place on the skeleton. It also gives you reserve for illness, surgery, and the occasional disagreement with a staircase. Beginning in midlife, maintaining muscle becomes more difficult for many of us. Age-related changes, menopause, lower activity, illness, injuries, and years spent sitting can all contribute. Our muscles may also become less responsive to a small protein serving or a very gentle exercise stimulation. In plain English, the body may need a clearer reason and adequate raw material to keep that tissue. This is why scale weight cannot be the only scorecard. A person can lose a great deal of weight and still feel weaker if nutrition and movement fall by the wayside. Another person may lose weight more gradually while preserving or improving strength. The scale will celebrate the first person more loudly, but daily life may favor the second. Better questions include, can you get out of a chair easily? Are stairs becoming easier or harder? Can you carry what you need to carry? Is your walking pace holding steady? And are you becoming stronger in the exercises you practice? Those are not glamorous movements, but they're useful ones. Let's talk a little more about giving your muscles a reason to stay. Walking is excellent for cardiovascular health, mood, blood sugar control, and sleep. Keep walking if it is safe for you, but walking alone is not the strongest signal for preserving muscle throughout the body. That signal is resistance training, and this is something we've talked about before. You need to ask your muscles to work against a load. The load could come from a dumbbell, a machine, a resistance band, or weighted household object, or even your own body. Your muscles do not check whether you have a fashionable gym membership before responding. The American College of Sports Medicine's updated guidance emphasizes something refreshingly unglamorous. Consistency matters more than complexity. Training the major muscle groups at least twice a week is more important for most adults than finding a perfect program. Bands, body weight movements, and home routines can all work. For a beginner, that might mean 2 brief full-body sessions each week. A basic routine could include sitting down and standing up from a sturdy chair, a wall push-up, a band row, a supported step-up, a hip hinge movement, and carry. The last few repetitions should feel meaningfully challenging while your form remains controlled. Start where your body is, not where an online fitness personality says it ought to be. If you have chest symptoms, dizziness, significant joint problems, balance trouble, neuropathy, or a long period of inactivity, ask a qualified clinician or physical therapist to help you begin safely. Most importantly, progress gradually. Over time, add a little resistance, another repetition, or a more challenging version. Muscle needs a reason to adapt. Doing the exact same movement forever eventually becomes more of a greeting rather than a request for the muscle. Now, GLP-1 medications may make a large plate look about as unappealing as assembling furniture without instructions. When appetite is low, every bite has more responsibility. Protein supplies amino acids, the building blocks the body uses to maintain and repair muscle. During weight loss, getting enough protein becomes particularly important. But this is not an invitation to live on shakes, eat an enormous steak at bedtime, or choose an arbitrary target from social media. Protein needs vary with body size, age, activity, total calorie intake, and medical conditions. Adults with kidney disease or certain other conditions may need individualized guidance. A registered dietitian, especially one familiar with obesity medicine, can translate a general recommendation into a safe target for you. In practice, it often helps to include a meaningful protein source at each meal rather than leaving nearly all of it until dinner. Eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, fish, poultry, lean meat, even tofu or tempeh or beans and lentils, they can all contribute. If you become full quickly, eating the protein portion early in the meal may help ensure it is not the item that's left behind. Protein supplements can be convenient when appetite is poor, but they are not automatically necessary and they do not replace a varied diet. A product with GLP-1 friendly on the packaging is marketing, not a medical credential. Just as important, do not forget the rest of your nutrition. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, healthy fats, fiber, vitamins, minerals. The protein powder alone can't provide. If nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, reflux, or an aversion to food is preventing you from eating and drinking adequately, tell your prescriber. Silently trying to survive on crackers is not a muscle preservation strategy. We've been trained to treat rapid weight loss as better weight loss. Before and after culture loves a dramatic headline. Muscle does not care about the reveal photo. And I know this from experience. It's very nice to get on a scale one day and see that you've lost 2 pounds. Or 3 days later to see that you've lost another 4. That is sort of an immediate response, an immediate reward to what you've been doing. But the medication dose should not be treated like a contest. More appetite suppression is not automatically better, particularly if it leaves you unable to meet your basic nutritional needs. Dose changes and side effect management belong to your prescriber. It's also worth looking beyond a single body composition scan. Hydration can influence some measurements, and home smart scales are estimates, not verdicts. If muscle health is a concern, combine body composition information with strength, mobility symptoms, and nutritional intake. Your care team might take simple functional measures, such as chair riseability or grip strength, when it's appropriate to do so. Watch for warning signs: increasing weakness, repeated falls, unusual exhaustion, difficulty completing ordinary tasks, persistent vomiting, and even signs of dehydration. Those deserve medical attention, not a congratulatory comment about the number on the scale. And we have to still keep in mind the fact that recovery still counts. Muscle is challenged during strength training, but it adapts during recovery. That means rest and sleep still have a place in this conversation. Poor sleep can make exercise feel harder, reduce the quality of recovery. Untreated sleep apnea can leave you exhausted, enough that resistance training never makes it off of the calendar. GLP-1 related nausea and reflux may also interfere with sleep for some people. If sleep becomes persistently worse after starting or increasing a medication, discuss the timing, the symptoms, and the dose with your prescriber rather than improvising a medication change. Recovery also means leaving time between hard sessions for the same muscle groups and not interpreting soreness as proof of success. You are trying to build a durable practice, not win a 3-week argument with your quadriceps. And there is a practical place to begin all of this. And if you're using a GLP-1 or preparing to start one, your muscle plan can begin with 5 conversations and actions. First, ask your prescriber. Ask them how your nutrition, strength, and side effects will be monitored, not only your weight. Second would be to put realistic resistance sessions on your calendar. And they can be short. Train the major muscle groups and build from there gradually. Third would be identify a protein source that you can tolerate at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then ask a registered dietitian whether the overall amount fits your body and your medical history. Fourth, track function alongside weight. Notice chair rises, stairs, carrying, walking, and the resistance you can safely handle. Finally, speak up early if the medication makes eating, drinking, or moving unusually difficult. A treatment plan should support your health, not reduce you to a smaller but more fragile version of yourself. GLP-1 medications have changed what is possible for many people living with obesity, diabetes, or related conditions. The answer is not to dismiss those benefits because lean tissue can decline during weight loss. The answer is to define success more wisely. You're not preserving muscle because you need to look like a bodybuilder. You're preserving it because you have a life to live. After 40, strength is not a vanity project. It's part of how we protect our choices, our mobility, and our independence. Let the scale be one piece of information. Make strength part of the goal from the beginning. Well, I hope you found this fun and interesting. I know that my experience on GLP-1 was successful, and it was mostly positive. I did have some nausea issues early on, but working with my provider, we adjusted dosage, and all of that worked out. One thing I will point out, I did stop the medication when an insurance changed and the insurance would not pay for it any longer. So therein lies the rub with a lot of things. And unfortunately, I did not make any changes to my lifestyle when I started the GLP-1s. Didn't start exercising, didn't look at my diet, didn't do anything different. It was a very foolish mistake. So if you're planning on starting one of these medications, start with a plan, talk to your doctor, and make sure that it's going to work successfully for you. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, please reach out to me. I would love to hear some of your GLP-1 stories. You can reach me at j@somnilopod.com. You can also touch base with me through the socials, Facebook and YouTube. And until we talk again, please remember to make sleep a priority. Thanks so much.